Hey Merfolk fans, I'm Joe. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to try to get a live league for you guys here. I won the die roll, so I'm definitely going to play first. Really strong opening hand. I like it a lot. I'm going to keep. I'm testing out a Singleton Sygg River Cutthroat. The idea being that with Death Shadow being so prevalent, and of course there's tons of decks playing fetch lands all the time anyway, Sygg could draw a lot of cards, so I'm trying him in place of my 4th Reejerey. The opponent mulliganed to 6 and put a card on the bottom, so pretty fortunate start for us. I'm going to play a Wanderwine Hub revealing Cursecatcher and drop that guy onto the board. I think I've played against this guy before. Tob is a bad boy. Okay, well we have a Spreading Seas, so we're about as well set up as we can be game 1. Basilisk Collar. I know this deck. It's just not coming to me right now. I guess it's Eldrazi or something with Basilisk Collar. Okay, well, there is an AEther Vial. Interesting decision to make here. Typically against Tron, until they get their second Tron piece established, we want to hold off on Spreading Seas. So that's not a possibility this turn. I could run out the Silvergill, reveal Harbinger, or I could run out AEther Vial and leave up Dismember. That seems better to me. With only 2 lands, I'd really like to get AEther Vial online. It's just a little bit unfortunate that we hit its second turn, but that happens sometimes. Okay, so now we're just going to hope that the opponent plays a creature worth dismembering, and we can keep our tempo up. Maybe... Okay, well there's that second piece. Mind Stone. Sorry, what's happening here? Oh, he cast another Basilisk Collar off the Mind Stone. Alright, Death Touch and Lifelink, doubling up on it. Alright, so for our turn we get to tick up the AEther Vial. Well, another land is nice, because we get to have up Dismember and we can still cast the Spreading Seas. So we might want to play a Mutavault this turn, actually, potentially attacking next turn. So let's start with Spreading Seas and see what we draw. The time is right for Spreading Seas because the opponent could get Tron on next turn. Draw a card. Well, that's pretty nice. We can go to attacks. Opponent's going to go down to 18. We'll play an island, which gives us access to Dismember. Obviously they're playing creatures because we've got Basilisk Collars. Another Mind Stone. This is a really weird hand. I guess they did mulligan to 6. Matter Reshaper. So do we want to Dismember this thing? Keep pushing damage? We've got Island Walk online. We can I think I'm going to keep the Dismember back. I'd much rather use it for a Thought Knot or something like that. This guy has lifelink, so if he does get strapped into a Basilisk Collar, then I can Dismember him then to prevent life gain, if I feel that that's relevant. The thing about Dismembering this guy is that he can just spit out another Matter Reshaper onto the board, which is always super obnoxious. We've also got play with Harbinger of the Tides to bounce this guy if he gets the Basilisk strapped on next turn. Alright, there's a Mutavault. So we've hit Master of Waves mana. We can comfortably keep AEther Vial on 2. I think I'm going to leave AEther Vial up for Harbinger of the Tides. It's a tricky spot because if the opponent plays out a Thought Knot next turn, and we've tapped out... Now, I guess I'm getting at, getting ahead of myself. If I play the Mutavault, play the Silvergill Adept, cast the Lord, I can tap out, make really efficient use of my mana, but then I'm not leaving Dismember up. I think I'd rather leave Dismember up. So I'm going to play a Lord and get in... I'd rather leave Dismember up. If this guy hits... Now, hold on a second. What did he play last turn? Another Basilisk, like this guy. I feel like he could have played a Thought Knot if he had it. He's down to 1 card. I think instead, actually, I'm going to go with the more aggressive line. I think I'm going to play Silvergill and the Lord right now. Make the most effective use of my mana. Another Silvergill is nice. But we do want to play the Lord to start, continue pushing damage with Island Walk. Okay, the opponent has absolutely no mana sources untapped, so we can attack with Island Walk, with Aplomb. Need to make sure I'm not going crazy with my clock here, with the commentary. If he puts the Basilisk Collar on, we're going to bounce him with Harbinger, at which point we're getting pretty close to lethal on the board. Is this a Reality Smasher? Endbringer. Well, this is an interesting combo. It's a combo with Basilisk Collar, because if it has Death Touch, he can ping me for 1 damage to my creatures. Fortunately, he can't do it yet. Are we attacking? Please attack. Come on. Okay, didn't attack, so I'm going instead to bring in the Silvergill Adept, and I'll be able to deal with the Endbringer with Dismember. Another Lord is just fantastic. Definitely leaving this on too. Spreading Seas, decent. He's again got no mana up. I don't know if we have lethal right now. If I play this other Lord right now, it's going to be 3, 3, 4, 4, 4. That sounds like enough, right? Let's double check. Bring the Lord in. Attack for 4, 8 plus 9 is 17. Yeah, that's enough. We'll just do it that way. Okay, activate Mutavault. 7, 7, and 4 is 17, right? All with Island Walk. Very careful with our F2s here. Opponent's counting it, he might just scoop. And he did. So before I click begin sideboarding, I like to take a moment and just look at what was played. Obviously a ton of colorless spells. Definitely going to bring in Ceremonious Rejection. May also want to bring in 1 Negate, just in case the opponent's running all his dust, just as an extra counter spell. And then obviously the Seize effects. So we can go and begin sideboarding now. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, bring the Seize in, 1, 2, 3, bring the Ceremonious Rejections in, and what goes out? The opponent's not damaging themselves a lot, so we could draw cards off of Sygg if we are chipping in for damage, but really Sygg is in the deck to play, to sort of try to get some advantage out of the current metagame with lots of Death Shadow players hurting themselves all the time, and fetch lands, and this deck has neither fetch lands nor Death Shadow, so we'll take Sygg out. Cursecatcher is not really countering anything, so we can just take all 4 Cursecatchers out. It's a big mana deck. They don't have a lot of non-creature spell, or I should say instants and sorceries that we can counter, and we are bringing in the 3 Ceremonious Rejections. Master of Waves potentially a little bit weak to Endbringer and Walking Ballista if they're playing Walking Ballista. So Kira, super great in this matchup. Seize, really important. Silvergills. Dismember, really great against Thought-Knots and Reality Smashers and Endbringers. I think I'm going to cut 1 Master of Waves and with the last minute just sort of reassess what I've done. So took out 4 Cursecatchers, I feel fine with that. Took out the Sygg, feel fine with that. That's 5 and then 6. Brought in the 3 Ceremonious Rejections, 3 Seize Claims. I may want to bring in a Negate, like I was saying. I'll take out a second Master of Waves because, as I mentioned, these guys can be weak in this particular matchup, but they can also be really strong in combination with all of the mana symbols from all of the Seize enchantments. Alright, so I think we're good to go. I did hit submit deck. Everything's taking a little while. And let's just hope for some good cards. Opponent had an awkward mulligan, it looked like, that game. If you did get that Endbringer Basilisk combo online, that would have been pretty sick. He could have just started picking off my creatures. We did have Dismember as an answer to the Endbringer, but as it went, we were able just to win really fast. Oh, this is wonderful. We've got card draw and denial, mana denial and spreading seas, and the opponent's mulliganing again. So we will absolutely keep. For the sake of entertainment value, we hope that the opponent has something, and he kept and put a card on the bottom. So we are going to put, oh man, Dismember. This hand is getting pretty good. I don't have a lot of pressure, but the seas are going to draw me into some creatures, I think. So we can just play an island and pass. Now, I don't know if he plays an Endbringer right now off of an Eldrazi Temple, like if I'd want to counter that, right? We probably want to wait for something more important to counter than an Endbringer. Looks like it's not happening, though. Maybe a Basilisk Collar or something like that. Nope, nothing. Another, okay, so Seize Claim. It's possible that these guys are going to run out like a Ratchet Bomb, so we need to be really careful. If I, for example, play Spreading Seas, like I would counter the Ratchet Bomb because I want to protect these Seas effects. He's not particularly close to establishing Tron right now, so I think going with now Ratchet Bomb in this spot, he would have played it now, right? I don't know. Hard to know what to think. Gonna play this Wanderwine Hub, reveal the Lord of Atlantis, doesn't give away that much information anyway, and now, do I play a creature and just sort of see what he does? Maybe I just play Seize Claim and leave up Ceremonious Rejection. Then if he plays like an Eldrazi Temple the following turn into a Thought Knot, I can Dismember in response. Yeah, I don't know, it's a little slow, but we've got mana to work with. I think I'm going to play the Seize Claim now and just see what he's doing. With all this interaction, I'd rather not tap out, if possible. You guys can tell me if I'm being silly or not. Okay, there's a Ghost Quarter. Mind Stone. All right. So not any closer to establishing Tron. Another Dismember. All right, I'm going now to play Cavern of Souls and my Lord. I need to start getting some damage on the board here. All right, hopefully it goes for some Haymaker next turn and I can just cast Ceremonious Rejection. And then draw some cards off of Spreading Seas. Oh, this is so good. I love it so much. So I'm going to reject this Thought Knot Seer. Hopefully that'll tilt the opponent. What a blowout that is. This is quite nice also, I have to say. I think I'm going to hit the Ghost Quarter, take him off of some of his utility. Another Aether Vial. Alright, so we really want to start hitting creatures soon. Going to attack here. I think I can safely put one of these Aether Vials down. If the opponent has another Thought Knot Seer, he can only take one of our Dismembers, and then I can just use the other Dismember to kill him. Meanwhile, just ticking up the Aether Vial, allowing us to leave our mana open for counter spells. There's that Eldrazi Temple. To say, I'm a little bit uncomfortable with how slow my clock is right now. Well, I personally think that Endbringer is a super cool card, but in this case it's just going to get dismembered, which is just kind of feels bad for them. Come on, creatures. There we go. Unfortunately, I can't play that guy this turn. I think I'm gonna... I have 7 Seize effects in the deck. I can hit this Eldrazi Temple. That's a good target. I just don't want to get everything wiped away by a Ratchet Bomb or something, but I can always rebuild. It's okay. Another Reejerey. So we're getting somewhere. I'm going to dismember this guy before I forget. So as planned, the Seas, keeping our hand full of cards, they're just pretty slow right now. We've got another Dismember for a follow-up Endbringer. Hopefully it's not a Thought Knot right now. Another Endbringer maybe? Well, that's fine by me. A land would be good here, I think. Okay. That's pretty spicy. But we really want to dismember this guy. So I guess we just have to play it slow. Dismember. I don't think I'm going to bring this Lord in yet for 2 more points of damage. I mean, 1 more point of damage. The Reejereys can come online next turn. 2 and then 3 and 2. Yeah, I don't want to be fancy. I'm just going to kill this guy now. He's obviously a pretty important part of their strategy. And what kind of... I guess he could have all his dust. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 next turn. So probably best to not bring in the Lord yet. Okay, and we can play another AEther Vial. Alright, so you just have to hope that the opponent's next 3 cards are not super duper amazing. Reality Smasher. Okay, so this is threatening. We'd like to draw a Harbinger at this point. We can always double block with 2 Lords if it seems like a big threat. Opponent has left Ghost Quarter up. Alright, so now we do tick this up. Both of them. Oh, well, that was about as good as it gets, I think. So we can go Reejerey, Lord, untap Vial, another Reejerey. Then all of our creatures are 5/5s. But then he casts all his dust, and that's about it, huh? So we should be very careful about how we build here. Let's see. If I play that, I want to get all these guys out. So I can't swing for... These guys are only going to be 6/6s at most this turn, which puts them down to 12. He didn't play a land last turn, so he could still have all those dust in hand or something like that. Alright, let's start with AEther Vial. Put in a Reejerey. And then I guess I have to play a second one. So untap my AEther Vial. So even if we get all his dusted, we can at least bring in a Merrow Reejerey next turn and keep chipping away. Got good blocks on Reality Smasher now. So do I swing for 10 or 12? 10 seems more prudent. It just avoids getting blown out entirely. So we're containing their mana really well here. Looks like he's going to beginning of combat. I am going to block with Reejerey, I think, here. If he attacks. Maybe I double block. Just to prevent the trample. I mean, what could go wrong here? If he has 2 pieces of removal for these guys would go down to 3/3s. I can move them up to 4/4s. You can only kill 2 of them. Yeah, I'm gonna double block. Do your worst. I hope it's not. Oh, sorry. So the opponent scooped it up. So this is an interesting build of Eldrazi. Have you guys seen this around? I know I've definitely seen it once before. It was probably the same guy. Tob is a bad boy. He seems to be trying out this Endbringer Basilisk Collar combo, which honestly seems pretty weak. As I mentioned, I really love Endbringer. It's a really cool card, but you saw how weak it is to, you know, Dismember, I guess. It was a slow start for us, but our Spreading Seas drew us into Lords, and we got there. So let me know your guys' thoughts. I'm going to go to the second round in this Modern Friendly League. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks, guys. Bye.